So, who remembers Siku toys from their childhood? For those who aren't aware, Siku are a German toy range of die-cast vehicles, around the same sort of size as Matchbox and Hot Wheels, but higher quality and a bit more expensive. For some reason, I wasn't aware of this until earlier this year, but as well as their road vehicles, they also have a series of trains, and the other day I visited a toy shop and found this. It's a gift set! Focus then. Geschenk gift set, coffret cadeau. Metal with plastic parts. Hopefully that doesn't mean plastic with some metal screws in it. There are two versions of this gift set to my knowledge. The diesel shunter set with 3 coaches, and the steam engine set with 1 coach and 2 trucks. The toy shop I was at only had the diesel shunter though. I've seen the steam set elsewhere, and I think Leo Kim Video has looked at the engine in his Garden Railway video. Anything on the back? Warning, not suitable for children under 36 months. That reminds me of something I saw at Poundland years ago. There was a toy and on the packaging it said, not suitable for children under 36, which amused me at the time. There's Siku's website, there's GSCE yin yang symbol, 0 to 3 sad onions, blah blah blah. Let's just open it, shall we? I've opened this before, and the engine really didn't want to come out of the packaging. The coaches were fine, but the engine, not so much. I was having a bit of trouble now. Bear with me. Ugh! There we are. The packaging being a box and a blister pack is collector friendly as I've demonstrated, so extra points to Siku for that. So here's the engine. I did a bit of searching and I believe this to be a rendition of the Deutsche Bahn V60 class. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. Let's zoom in on the old diesel shunter. There we are. It's pretty much everything I like in a toy locomotive. Plenty of relief detail, a fair bit of weight to it, doesn't feel like it's going to break, and there's even implication of the side rods. Not sure if you can see that, but there it is. And most importantly, the toy is accurate to the engine it's supposed to represent, and isn't all squashed and distorted. The cab is plastic, but the remainder of the loco body is die-cast. To get an idea of the size, here's an Untitled Thomas. And if you don't have an Untitled Thomas, here's a wooden Thomas. But it's clearly the Untitled Thomas that this diesel scales up better with. So if you've got an Untitled collection, buy this engine or any Siku engine, and you can have it interact with other Thomas characters. Marvellous. To go along with this little engine are 3 coaches of various colours. There's a green one, that'll be from the southern region then. A blue one, which could be Somerset and Dorset I suppose. And a yellow one, which, well, I can't think of any railway company that actually uses yellow on its coaches. It reminds me more of workmen's coaches, I suppose. Speaking of workmen's coaches, I suppose you could use the green one as a rough approximation of the works coach from the early episodes of Thomas. Only setback is the proprietary coupling system. I'll show you how it works. It's similar to the Tamika Thomas range or the Chuggington die-cast range. Basically, one end looks like this, the other looks like this. You snap them together like this, and there you have it. It's very flexible and it stays coupled. Only drawback is when it comes to uncoupling the coaches, you're scared you're going to break it. But with Siku being quite a reputable company, I don't think that'll be much of a problem. The coaches are all plastic, but very nicely detailed. Look! You can even see the seats inside them. That's attention to detail. Now, Siku never made their own track system to my knowledge, but the question is, are there any tracks that their trains can run on? We shall have to find out in the test of compatibility. Before I begin, it's worth noting that the engine has the same gauge and clearance as the coaches, so anything that the engine is compatible with should be compatible with the coaches as well. Anyway, let's start out by using Tomy track. Unfortunately, it just doesn't fit. Even if it did fit in the middle sections, the connectors would put a complete stop to it. So no points for Tomy track. Next is 00HO track. But unfortunately, once again, the engine doesn't fit. And to show you that the coaches are indeed the same gauge as the engine, they don't fit either. And unfortunately, the difference between the gauge of the engine and the gauge of the track is greater than that of the budget locomotive, so it won't fit on the stands of the Atlas Edition's engines either. So, no points for 00HO track. Since the engine didn't run on Tomy track, there's no point getting out the wooden track, because that's pretty much the same gauge. I'm not saying that because I couldn't get to the wooden track, honest. So it's time to move straight on to Take Along Mark II or Take and Play track. And you'll be pleased to find out that the engine does indeed fit. It's a bit of a stretch on the curves like the Budgie engine beforehand, and to show that the coaches have the same clearance as the engine, they also fit on the track. And because they don't have a middle set of wheels, they can go around the curves better. So if we've learned something through these videos, it's that a lot of engines can fit on Take Along track. So there you have it. That's the Siku diesel shunter set. All in all, a pretty splendid little thing, with the majority of die-cast toy trains in Western territories these days being overly stylised plasticky lumps put out by Mattel. This makes a really nice change. And if you like trains, collectible toy vehicles or both, I can't recommend this highly enough. As for the price, I bought this set from Melton Toys in Melton Mowbray for $9.99. Seeing as this works out to £2.50 a vehicle, I'd say that's a decent price. I've seen both this set and the Steam set at Phoenix in Leicester for about £11, but I've seen some places online charging around £15 to £17, so I'd say that if you are going to buy one of these sets, make sure not to get ripped off. Hey, you might find a better deal than I did. Anyway, that's all we've got time for today, so if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later!